Hello, everyone. Welcome to your April Flowcast. So, I'm tuning into the energy coming in for April because we are now in April, right? Did you enjoy your April Fool's accounts? I don't partake in that so much anymore. I try to keep it real all the time, so I don't really like to play too many Fool's games. I don't think I've really played one on anybody since I was pregnant many years ago. And that didn't quite go as planned. I freaked people out. Never want to do pregnancy pranks, early labor, things like that. It's not exactly fun. But I hope you had a great Fool's Day for whoever partakes in that. I'm doing this video on April 2nd because there's some things going on I want to talk to you guys about, and some pertain to the Schumann resonance. I'm going to show you what's going on in the Schumann resonance right now, as well as give a channeled insight and a card pull message for this month ahead, okay? Because there has been some major work that has developed over these last few days in undoing the Sistine Chapel number 2 on this channel. So my name is Master Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an Ascension Master, a Master Healer, and a Divine Guide. Since 2019, I had my own Kundalini awakening that was quite massive and powerful, and my path changed, and I have been doing the work of the return of the gods ever since. And it all plays out on this channel. So we are in important times, my friends, very important times. And it's not a time where we want to take for granted opportunities that rise. Okay, that's coming up first. This is not a time we want to take advantage or miss opportunities that rise, or take advantage of those opportunities that rise thinking that we will have them again later. So I'm hearing that is like these opportunities, when they come, to use them as they come, because you may not get a chance later. Okay, because we are in amongst the biggest reset, the biggest separation of mankind ever. This is a true reset of mankind. It's not just like wiping out of a society and resetting the earth. It's bigger than that. Okay, we are establishing where we are going to go from this place out. Okay, our souls are being reset, so all of the past, all of the future has become one at this time. Okay, and we are reestablishing timelines. But you see, the thing about that is I don't call them timelines, because it's not a timeline. God doesn't look at time. Spirit doesn't function within time like mankind was conditioned to do so. It's false. So what you know as a timeline, I call a vibration. It's a vibrational shift, not a timeline shift. Okay? So I'm going to talk to you too about what's going on in the Schumann resonance. There is something quite amazing happening in the Schumann resonance that some people might not be aware of. I mean, they're aware of it, but I don't know if they understand it on a level that Spirit's showing me at this time, so I'm going to share that with you. Recently, Spirit's like, look at the Schumann resonance, so I have been, and they are actually guiding me to what it is and what's going on. So that's pretty cool. We're quite aware that the Schumann resonance is very important in reading the energies of the earth, the frequencies, or what you call timelines, right? Time, energy, frequencies, breath, life, vibration. Energy is everything. Vibration is everything. And it's important to understand that we are vibrations. The earth is a vibration. Everything is of a vibration. Okay? Energy is everything. Vibration is everything. And we must establish a new vibration, okay? But I'll get into that. Before I truly begin the channeled message, I'm going to show you the Schumann resonance right now, okay? I'm going to share some images with you that I took over these last couple of days from the Schumann resonance. This is the Cumiana report, and also the, it's both of them. Okay. So the reason I'm going to be showing you this is because it's doing something right now that Spirit expressed to me had quite significant meaning, okay? And so I'm going to discuss that. It has quite significant meaning. We have, I'm like, here, let me Let me look at something very fast as I bring all of this up. Boop, boop, doo. So we have the Tomsk report and the Kumiana report. And the images I'm going to show you were taken over the last couple of days. That's it, okay? So this was the one I took. It's as of yesterday, so it hasn't quite shown today's. There we go. So this was through yesterday, all right? And it's still picking up for today. So as of today, it's lower. Within the last half hour, it's less than 3% of energy frequency coming in. So it's in a downswing. But if you notice, there's a pattern over the last few days. Ba-boom, 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 like a heartbeat. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. And when I look at it, that's exactly what Spirit is reflecting to me. It's like a heartbeat. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Now, why is that significant? Okay, we're going to talk about that. So Spirit told me why it is so significant. Okay, so we have that one that I have established. I want to show you these together because there's a pattern playing out here. And this one is wanting to mess with me. Come on now. Okay. Boogerlicious. All right. So we are in a pattern. Okay. We are definitely in a pattern. And it's important to understand that it's not a normal pattern. I want to view this one bigger. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So if you notice right here, I'm going to annotate on it just so you can see what I'm talking about. I do have it circled on another image. But right here, there is like a straight line that is a little broken. It's like almost as you would see in a hospital setting, like on the medical thing with their heartbeat, right? It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Plus, there's also one up in here. And this one's today's. Okay, so this is April 2nd of 2025. That is today. Okay, but if you pay attention over here, I'm going to show you the image. There was one yesterday too. Okay, what is that and what is this? So it's like da-dunk, 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 da-dunk. Another heartbeat, established connection. Okay, and that's truly what Spirit is showing me is going on here. Like, how do I get out of this full image? Oh my gosh. Okay. And so here was the one actually from the day before. This is the day before. Okay. So we had one from today, and then we also have one from the day before. And that was the one I was showing you. And you could see there's a lot of little boom, boom. Look at this. Look at this energy right here. It's like establishing a heartbeat. Okay. It's establishing a heartbeat. And that's what Spirit told me. It's a new heartbeat establishing. Okay. Anomalies within the Schumann resonance or variations in the Earth's natural electromagnetic field. Any anomalies they associate with earthquakes and things. Okay. So anomalies are that they associate with massive earthquakes, which we are on the tail end of a very massive earthquake that occurred in Myanmar and Thailand, which are where I activated 2 pyramids, by the way, that are female pyramids. But you can see it. It's like da-dum, da-dum. And right when these massive energies come in, it's this one. And on the day before, it was like establishing. So if you like shock something into life, you're establishing a new beat, a new frequency. And that came in at that same time. It seems to be establishing a new connection to an energetic wave on Earth. And that's what Spirit says is happening. And look at all of the green. Look at all of the da-dunk, da-dunk. Like you could see it. It's so awesome to see it. It's like, it's like bam, bam. So it's establishing a new connection. Okay, that is what is happening within the Schumann resonance. Hang on. I'm going to stop the share right quick because it's going someplace I don't want it to go. So I'm like, I can't get it off of the full screen over here. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure I showed you everyone I wanted to show you. Over the last couple days, we've had those really strange straight lines in there, but it's also an accompaniment with all the other beats. It's like a new heartbeat of the earth. And so I asked Spirit about it. And this morning they said it is a new establishment of a heartbeat. When I did the work that I did for the return, I did process the earth's death. Not only did I process the earth's death, I took us into 7D, which is a new frequency establishment. And I also rebirthed the chakra system. I activated a dormant chakra system. And then in rebirthing the new earth, we bring over that chakra system. So a new, dormant new, right? It's I activated a dormant chakra system. And I'm going to show you where you can find that video to watch it, because it's very important to what's happening right now. Okay. So we are in the stage of the ascension where we are, the earth is dying and being reborn at the same time, because she will not die. And I did that work. Okay. So the two videos that are very relevant to what is happening right now in the work that I have done is processing the earth's death and reawakening a dormant chakra system. Okay. Very important. So I'm going to show you where those are really quickly. Okay. And you can find those to watch those, because in order to understand fully the return of Christ, or the return of the gods, or the ascension, whatever you want to establish it to be called, is to understand the work that was done to get us here. What is happening? How do we fathom it in our limited mind space? Well, it helps because the actual work is right here. Okay, God had me record what I do over the years for a reason, which I'm so thankful for, because I didn't even know what I was doing. And now we can actually look back and go, that was it. Oh my gosh. So these were the female pyramid activations. The first one was Fiji, by the way. After clearing Mount Shasta part 1, which was not of light, then I activated a pyramid in Fiji, which was under the water. That was part 1. And then the other ones, we have Indonesia, Myanmar, Machu Picchu, Budapest, Thailand. Those are in here. Okay, so those were pyramids that I activated. They're female pyramids. And shortly after that, I activated a hidden dormant chakra system. So important to understand that, okay? Because that's the heartbeat of the Schumann resonance, is a reestablished, like if you flatline that line on the Schumann, right? That I showed you, that weird line on the Schumann resonance. If you flatline, like right here, you see how it like flatlined? Let's go into 100% and let's look at that little, let's see. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. You see that line? It's as if we flatlined on a table, right? And the day before that actually happened when it was, there we go. So it's happened 2 days in a row now. And it happens, so it's like if somebody shocks your heart, right? It dies, it flatlines, and somebody goes, boom, 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 and gets it going again, gets it back in a new rhythmic value. That's basically what God said is happening, okay? So that's important to understand, because it aligns with the activating the hidden dormant chakra system. And I'm going to tell you what's coming for April, because this is happening in the energy right now as we speak. We came off of the other things that I told you about, that energy in UK and what God said that was, and how it relate also to the work that was done, which was quite beautiful and validating for me, because I did this work in my heart center, right? I was doing it in my heart center, where I didn't really know what I was doing or understand it either. It was processing through me. So to see it unfold now is just so beautiful. It's an amazing thing that I couldn't make up if I tried. So this activating hidden dormant chakra systems, very important. Okay, very important. And what is the return of Christ? That also is shown right here. It's the union of the DM and feminine, my DM and I on 3 different levels, opening up the God portal. So it's the return of the gods. Okay. It's not the apocalypse. God calls it the return of the gods. It's very important to understand that, because I undid what was done, what was taken from us, and reestablished that connection. So consider we were in a third dimensional world. It was very low frequency, vibration, energy, vibration. Energy is everything. And we were in a very low frequency vibration. Okay, very low. Because that's third dimensional. It's outside of God. God, the energy of light, the energy of love is an extremely high vibration. All right. And so in order to undo all of that, the fallen had to deactivate what was God and open up portals that were not truly originally established here. Which one of them, the biggest one, I just undid, or what you would call the portal of hell. God does not call it that. Okay, so they closed down the portals of light and opened up portals of a lower frequency vibration that were not originally here. Okay, and doing so, they cut off our original chakra system, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, which is what I have been working to reestablish, reconnect, and rebuild, and call back all the light and remove all the darkness. That's who I am, okay, to the earth. So, this one was done in 22 to activate the hidden, dormant chakra systems. Very important, because you are seeing this now come online. That's what God said is happening in the Schumann resonance, is the new chakra system is coming online. I channeled the message about it. The new chakra system is coming online, okay? And then I kept undoing all of the other darkness, my battle with my twin soul that he did not make it through, and I got a walk-in DM, brought down the blood of Christ, undid the Holy Grail, uniting us on that level, taking us into 7D. Very important, okay? Because we are now establishing, and you can see it in the Schumann resonance, a new heartbeat. This is the other very, look at 22122. 2222 is when my DM and I became one. Anyways, processing the earth's death, taking her into heaven, okay? Garden of Eden, rebirth. So she has to die to be reborn, which is what all mankind must do as well. We either die here, healing so much that who we used to be is no longer viable, to a whole new person aligned with your soul path, aligned with the new earth frequency, vibration, okay? We have to let go of all that was not to align with the new earth frequency and vibration. And so this was processing the earth's death, which was actually quite painful. Serapis Bay came in that one, which he actually helped me again recently, okay? And I had to process it through my body. That's my connection with the earth. It's very powerful. So activating the dormant chakra system, the heartbeat, the old heartbeat of the earth just flatlined, and we are now establishing a new heartbeat of the earth. And these are 7D. These are God timelines. These are frequencies, okay? And so if your vibration is not high enough to match that, you are not establishing that vibration within the new earth, okay? So these are very important. And then as I birthed the new earth, okay, we went into the new chakra system of earth. So this one's also very relevant for what is starting to process in the blueprint of earth, okay? Activating a dormant chakra system, death and rebirth of the earth, and then birthing the new earth came through recently, okay? Day 1, the earth divided. Day 2, planets aligned. The sun and the moon became one. The eclipse aligned. All this Christ light came through the sun rays. That's what all of these sun solar flares are. It happened in my work, okay? And then day 4, the seasons created, realigned. And day 5, the new chakra system, the new heartbeat of the earth is being established. And then very soon here, all of the light that is pure light only will be allowed into the new earth frequency, because you cannot bring shadow here, okay? So that's very important to understand what's going on with the Schumann resonance. It basically, her old beat, her old vibration, her whole old heartbeat of the earth just flatlined. And it has now been like shocked, boom, reestablished, reborn. And she has a new heartbeat establishing in the Schumann resonance, like ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. all that sun rays came through and it flatlined the old earth energy. She's dying. The old earth is dying as we speak, and the new one is being reborn as we speak, which is the heartbeat that you can see within the Schumann resonance. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Okay? And so with that, it helps us kind of understand what's happening to mankind over the month of April and what's coming that Spirit's talking about for this next month for April. Now, in my predictions for 2025, they're all still very relevant. So I would encourage you to watch those because they've been playing out very much so aligned. And there's stuff in there that I didn't know that the work I was going to do is going to pertain to, like undoing the Sistine Chapel Part 2 the other day, which also went along with this painting that I did before I did the work. Generally speaking, that's how all these things come through. That's why I do the Creative Flow workshops, because it gives you insight into your soul, insight to what's coming, and it helps you clear that heart space. Okay, it's not about being an artist per se, although I have definitely upgraded as an artist. My daughter did the crow, by the way. She painted, she's like, "You like the crow?" That crow is an actual picture I took of a crow outside my window, and she was like, "I want to paint it for you." So she did. The rest are mine. She also made me that one day. She's like, "I just want to sew you. I think it's a red panda." I'm like, okay. So just to clarify. But these all go with the portal workshops that I do, generally speaking. This was taking us into 7D. This was the Eye of the Lotus one, where Christ's light is here, okay? And then undoing the Sistine Chapel. This stuff really just happened the other day, okay? So we truly are in the end of times, the end of ways. The end of ways outside of pure light. We can no longer be duality. And as all of those sun rays came in, it killed the heartbeat of the old earth, the flat line, and it restarted and reestablished a new frequency heartbeat of the new earth. And that's exactly where we're at. Okay? So the new chakra system is coming online. That is the dormant one that I activated and then brought it over to new earth and reestablished that connection outside of any darkness and any shadow. I left no stone unturned. Okay? Are you with me still? Because this is a lot. To understand this is to watch all the work that I did and allow yourself to process it and allow yourself to not have judgment get in the way or shadow stop you. Okay? So, this is what God says. The new chakra system is coming online. Okay? And we are all processing a new death and rebirth cycle. Okay? So the old earth is dying as we speak, and a new one is being reestablished. Literally flatlined, and a new heartbeat is going to-dum, da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. And we have to match that vibration to rise. In order to do that, you have to be healed without any karma. You have to truly be free of karma or freeing your karma. So let's listen to this. So there are, for April, okay, this is also for April and then mankind. So we're in a death and rebirth cycle, okay. Events on the horizon. Now the final day 8 portal is where that's it. You cannot try to cross the threshold into new earth anymore after that, okay. So there will be a day where you won't be able to cross anymore. The division's complete, okay. And right now we're in the phase where the new earth is being established, rebirthed. The new heartbeat of the earth has been reborn in 7D, pure light, pure love, and the old earth is literally dying right now, okay? And mankind must follow, okay? They will follow either way. They will either be reborn here through a frequency shift of healing enough to become pure light, or they will have to establish that somewhere else. Because Earth will no longer ever be a karmic cycle play out. It cannot ever be duality again. That's the return of the gods, okay? That's why they call it the apocalypse. But the thing about that is you reap what you sow. So God does not punish, and that was part of the message that he gave me through scripture, which was really cool to receive it that way during the Sistine Chapel Undoing Part 2. I deciphered the message because God named off all these scriptures, like numbers, like Corinthians something something, and Genesis 1:14-16. And so I thought one thing, but I was like, let's look those up. So I did, and it was truly a message from God. Okay, And it's not a punishment. It's you reap what you sow. And I've been saying that for the last 4 years, is that in the return of the gods, what was done against the light, they have to pay back. Karma is very real, and what you put out returns. Okay? And what they did to God was not part of the plan and not okay in all of mankind. All right? And so that's why you have to heal your karma, because it is a karmic kickback. And I talked about that when I brought down the blood of Christ and when I undid the Holy Grail. It came through big time, as you cannot take the light into the darkness anymore, and you cannot use darkness in the light anymore. Okay? So for April, we are now in the death and rebirth cycle. And so here's what God was saying, is there are events on the horizon. And this isn't the first time I saw this in this message. Okay? So there are events on the horizon. It is time to let go of a world we once knew and establish a new heartbeat of existence. Okay? Some will rise and some will now fade away. It's just like out of our existence, like a lost connection of existence. Okay, some will more will rise, and others will begin to fade away, like a lost connection of resistance. Now, some star seeds and light workers have that dormant chakra system starting to come online as well, if they're viable, if they're ready. Now, keep in mind, when I was bringing down the return of Christ light, the Christ light, I had to use the trees, because there were a lot of star seeds and light workers that weren't even quite ready. So some that are ready will have that chakra system coming online, okay, because they're already higher frequency beings, not normally roaming Earth all of the time. They're here to take part in the shift and to help mankind through. Okay, so there's that. So events on the horizon for this month. It is time to let go of a world we once knew, okay, and establish a new heartbeat of existence. Some will rise and some will fade away, like a lost connection of existence. Having different realities will become more seen and established, depending upon your karmic division and lessons and vibrations. Because as these pure Christ light comes in, what does not align cannot commingle. We cannot commingle. We cannot be dual. I cannot say that enough. We cannot be duality. And as they established that the Antichrist will be exposed, they said that yesterday, I think it was, when I was showing you the Sistine Chapel part 2 and deciphering that message, or the other day, is that will happen when it's time to complete the division of darkness and light. We cannot be both, okay? You cannot be duality. So if you still have shadow and karma, you may not continue seeing me at all, right? There's going to come a line where you just cannot keep bringing that shadow into the light. If you're refusing to step outside of the matrix, if you're refusing to heal your karma and to heal, you can't cut ties to that, and you can't burn those contracts. You have to truly grow as a soul now and heal that, okay? Learn those lessons outside of love. And giving resistance to the path and the work of God and choosing the shadow is karma. That is part of what created your karma the first time. And that is why you will feel more resistance. So not pushing past that resistance, it's not like the earth is going to wait for you forever. Okay? So having different realities will become more seen and established now, depending upon karmic division and lenses and vibrations. So those carrying the darkest of the energy cannot cross over to the light frequency. So those of us who are pure light, we cannot commingle, okay? And it's going to end that way. So that is why they're calling it the Great Reset of mankind, right? Some will go, some will stay, and some will never know life this way. Those are the three options that I've been talking about since when I was freeing Jesus' soul. So this month, there are strange events coming, rising now on the horizon. And as I said that, I got an image of this man dressed in a suit. So I have to tell you the image I got as I was channeling this message through, as I was getting this message. Is like you can see it out on the horizon, and there's a sun line, right? and he's like coming up out of the shadow or out of the darkness, and he's showing into the light. And it's a man dressed in a suit. I have to say that. I'm getting chills. So there is a strange event coming. That's the theme of April. Okay? Turn of events no one saw coming. The theme for April is a turn of events no one saw coming. And in April, Spirit said there's a strange event coming, arising now on the horizon. Something is coming out of the shadows to be seen by all, right at the fall of the Kabal. Okay? So strange events are coming, rising now on the horizon. And I got the image of a man dressed in a suit coming out of the shadow into the light for all to be seen. So something is coming out of the shadows to be seen by all, and right at the fall of the Kabal. That's what they said. Okay. And I get chills when I say that. So I'm going to say it one more time. There's a strange event coming. The theme for April is a turn of events no one saw coming. Strange event coming, rising now on the horizon. Something coming out of the shadows to be seen by all, right at the fall of the Kabal. Okay. Then all of a sudden I got an image of like a fissure line, like a big crack in the earth, like a fissure, like a big crack. So another earthquake, I don't know. Do you know how the earth will divide, like a big fissure? I got an image of that, a fissure line and then water filling into it. So water coming in, and they said a clear division of native lines. A clear division of native lines. Okay? And then they said an event shift of mankind, and how will you react? Will you see past illusions or go further blind? Because you can't see past the shadow. So, time to leave the past behind for April for all of mankind. Okay, so every person on this planet, well, at least those that are connected, are having strange encounters of another kind. We must align to the new heartbeat and the new chakra system. So in the path to righteousness, you did so many healings, those that were truly originally called to do that. There were so many healings that were given in there that you go from a 7-base chakra system to a 10. You should be upgrading your chakra system. You should be evolving as a species to rise. And we do that through healing, establishing that connection to the dormant chakra system. And unfortunately, those that were supposed to rise with me chose to bring the shadow into New Earth again. And that did not go well for them or mankind. It affected everybody. So when I tell you there's a shadow that's going to convince you otherwise, there is. But let me tell you, if you are not viable to upgrade to this new chakra system, you can't rise. Okay, we have to be viable through healing, through enough activations, through clearing karma, through evolutionary healing. Okay, DNA activations, and those are not just given freely. You have to be doing the work. You have to be doing the healing. Okay, I know people who think just because they see means that they're rising. No, you have to be doing the healing. You have to be actively evolving, doing the work, okay? Connecting to that system. All right? So that is what's coming in now, is that necessity, that energy, that activation and awareness. So some of us will hear the call to leave the past behind and heal what does not align. And remember free will. So, just assuming you get to sit back, kick back, and it's going to happen to you, you're not correct. You have to be healing. And every starseed and light worker is also healing. Okay, they may look like they are not, but they are. Okay, so the theme of April is a new direction that will shock everyone no one saw coming. A turn of events no one sees coming. All right? So now I'm being called to pull from my decks. These were the decks that I created as I was activating the pyramids. That is this one, Ascension Portal Messages of the Gods. Okay, messages from the gods, Ascension Portal Healing Messages. These are the guidance of the healings that is required through each portal. And then the other deck I did is Guided Ascending Light, Epic Light Healing Journey, that I did once I completed activating the pyramids. Okay, y'all, I am sitting on my hair. I can't barely turn my head. It's getting longer and longer, and I'm starting to sit on it. It's becoming a hazard. I get into my vehicle, And I'm like, I can't turn my, I have to like make sure that I get my hair out from under me. I think it goes down to my knees now. I don't know, I lost track because I can't see the back side. I just know it's extremely long. Okay, so we're going to see what the cards say now. For the month of April, what are the ascension lessons that are rising during the month of April? What are the ascension lessons that are rising during the month of April? And keep in mind, it depends on you and your karmic frequency. So your lessons might differ, but be in the same vortex, okay? Depending upon which side of the karmic portal you are on. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, okay. All right. Ooh, I'm hearing one more. One more at least. Oop, okay. Okay, so we have... Don't judge. What you see in others is a direct reflection of what is within you. One can't see something that is not within them to see. Do not judge. Judgment is not of God. And I've had people come on here saying, well, the definition of judgment, just because the Matrix writes it, does that make it real? You need to recognize that most of what was in the Matrix side of things is an illusion to keep you blinded and binded. Okay? God views judgment a whole nother way. Judgment is not of God at all. And everything you see in somebody, especially in me, because I am going to spark your shadow. So everything you see in somebody else is a reflection of you, because we're all connected and energy is everything. So your vibration is going to attract whatever is being housed, okay? So if you're not gratitude and love, you won't be attracting no abundance, okay? So if you've got shadow in there, your vibration is not high enough, and it's going to attract that. That's this karmic play out, okay? But do not judge. That is one of the testaments of the portals. You will be tempted in judgment to judge others. God does not judge you. We are not in judgment day. It's what God calls you reap what you sow day. Karmic play out, okay? And part of karma is done of what is done outside of love and light. So hesitating to the path. Judging the one who brought it all about, the sun, hesitating to God, hesitating to your heart center, judging rather than unconditional love, not realizing that, you know what I'm seeing is a reflection of what's in me, so let's dig into that. Okay? The path is not always an easy one. However, if it was, you would never challenge yourself or grow, okay? We are in a time of soul growth. The challenge is the way. Where you find a challenge, that is the way through to the other side. And the bigger the challenge is because it's your biggest karmic play out. It's a bigger karmic lesson. Okay? So where the challenge is, if you have fear rise because of something feels difficult, if you feel a lot of resistance, you need to go that way. Okay? That is the path to healing your karma, is being able to choose sovereignty, love, light, the path. You know, this work will spark your shadow. Can you push past that shadow and keep going either way? Can you push past the fear and realize that's not of God? Clear it out, call your power back, and rise either way? Can you trust God over the shadow? It's not always easy. It's not meant to be easy because it's where you've given your power away before. So this time you have to do it differently, okay? You can't give your power of the light to the shadow. You cannot. You cannot use the light that you house of God in the matrix or in the shadow anymore. You cannot be duality. That's what that means. You cannot carry God's light, because it's in here, into the shadow at all. You cannot. You have to heal it all, okay? That's why there's a collective and an individual shadow. You have to come out of that collective shadow, which is the karmic matrix system. And you have to be in your pure sovereignty, your creation, your heart, connecting to spirit, co-creating with spirit, trusting, not in lack, okay? And then the individual shadow is where it has gotten you to give your power away through that system, okay? That's it. All right, very important. The sky is not the limit. Okay, we do not know how far we can go or how much we can do until we test it. So reach beyond the stars. So to make an assumption that I can't, I will, I can only go this far, you don't know. That's a judgment. Okay? The thing about that is the future doesn't exist. The future we really have is now. The past is already gone. We keep bringing it forward. If you do, you are stuck. Okay? And you need to heal something. Because we can only be in the here and the now. Your future doesn't exist. You create it from right now. And the past should be gone. You don't want to bring that forward to the now. You want to do it differently. Okay? So we don't want to focus on the past because then we're going to keep repeating those cycles. And we don't want to think about the future because it's a false timeline, and that's where fear, anxiety, and all the shadow can come in. Okay? When you stay in the here and the now and you realize I can do anything. If it's on my path, I can do it. If I feel fear, that's the shadow tempting me. That's where I've given my power away before. If I see judgments, that's where I give my power away. Okay, that's not unconditional love, and there's something in me where I'm not loving myself. Okay? Soul nurturement, okay, can occur anywhere you are and in any circumstance. So the challenge is the way. Soul growth is the way. It's the only path to rise. You cannot be duality. You cannot be part matrix and part love and light. Okay, you cannot be part shadow and light. You can't. You have to have a lens of love, understanding everything's a reflection of you, okay, and using everything to rise above. Not focused on tomorrow or yesterday, because the only thing you have is now. Yesterday's gone. All of our past is undone. All of your past has been combined into now so that you can heal your karma to rise. We cannot be karmic patterning anymore. That's not a maybe. So let's see what the Guided Ascending Light deck says now for the month of April. So this month you need to let go of limitations and lack. You need to focus only in the now. Do not judge anyone or anything at all. You don't know. Just be observant, be open, ask questions, seek answers, and heal anything that's not love. And realize it's not meant to be easy. You are meant to grow as a soul and undo where you've given your power of the light to the shadow. Okay? And you can nurture your soul anywhere. You need to nurture your soul the whole way. All right, so let's see what this other deck says now for the month of April. Whoa. Come on. That one was sticky icky. It was a sticky tricky, so I wonder what the card is because it's upside down, but it was tricky, sticky, sticky, tricky. Sticky, tricky, tricky, sticky. Ooh-wee. I love these cards. Okay. So, yes, I created this deck completely drawn, illustrated, done by me. All right. So I'm going to go with which way it came out. Okay, you have to pay attention to all details. Intricate measures. And you know what's funny about this card is at the printers, I would have to reprint this deck because I didn't do that. You see the details in there? I didn't type in an RI in my image. You can see this is all hand drawn. And then they typed in an RI. I'm like, what the hell? So pay attention to those details because there's something that doesn't belong. I love it. It kind of goes with my message. Okay, so intricate measures. Pay attention to those details because there's something inside that doesn't belong, or there's something going on that is trickery. Remember the sticky, icky trickery that I kept saying? So that's part of the message. Pay attention to details. You cannot judge things. Do not assume you think you know what's going on. Do not assume that you're safe. You need to keep rising. You need to keep doing the work. You need to keep following those nudges of the soul path and get to where you clear the shadow until you can see clearly, okay? That's why we have to co-create, because we can't see past the shadow, all right? So like I said, this month is a death and rebirth. So we are transmuting the past. Okay, it's time to leave the past behind. We must transmute what does not belong, and in the time we are doing that, everything we do, we pay attention to details, because the shadow likes to leave you blind. It doesn't want you being authentic to yourself, and it wants you to be blinded. Okay, So you have to pay attention to all details of the vibrations. If a judgment comes in and you're like, oh, I know what that means, do not do that. Ask Spirit. Ask for further guidance. Seek and you shall find. Do not leave yourself blind and in assumptions. Truth time, throat chakra activations. It's time we must see truths. Okay? When I was bringing in the Christ light and my first DM was in the battle with me, it really sucked because he had things he was afraid to tell me. And that's why he wasn't stepping forward. Oh, you guys, I hated this day. Let me tell you about it. And I can say that word because it was a horrible feeling. And I don't want to ever have that experience again. But my first DM, and this is why I'm really upset the new DM hasn't showed me who he is. He'd rather me find out through the energy forcing it, and I'm not happy about that. But the first DM had secrets. He did things that would hurt me, and he didn't want to tell me, and that's why he was afraid to step forward. And God kept saying, step forward or we're going to show her your truth. And I was like in the middle going, oh my God, like what does this mean? And they kept saying, step forward or we're going to show you your truth. You cannot hide things anymore on this earth. We cannot bring Christ's light in and not be willing to be in truth completely and see all truths no matter how uncomfortable they are. You have to. The truth sets you free. The truth sets you free. So you have to see the false world to be free, right? We cannot lie to be free. The shadow likes lies. The shadow likes shadow. And God, you can't do that. So even if it's uncomfortable, you have to speak your truth, be your truth, live your soul, okay? And he was afraid, and so he wasn't coming, and then one day I woke up and I got the biggest download of his truths. I didn't like that. I wish he would have told me his truths rather than getting a download of his truths without him by my side to talk to me. It was a horrible feeling. So even if you don't want to express your truths and live your truths, you will be forced to face your truths. Okay? So it's best to do it on your own. It is best to face your truths and live your truths on your own, or those truths will come back to haunt you. Okay? And then I didn't get his explanation. All I had was this horrible, painful truth of his. It was not fun. I did not like that. I don't ever want to find out a truth without the person telling me their truth. I'd much rather hear it from them. You know what I'm saying? Then we have green ray activation. So new heart chakra establishment. Okay? We must come into the heart, the Merkaba, and be all connected to the one, the sun, the DM, the feminine. All right? And that's a sigil I channeled through for that. Green ray activations, heart chakra awakening. And then generational entanglement. Yep, so this goes with the channeled message of your karmic cycles will either rise to be healed and seen. You will have to see truths, or you will be anchoring into them. Okay? Okay, so you have to release those old patterning and outdated blueprints of generational entanglements, karmic cycles. So we are connected to certain people for the purpose of clearing karma. Okay? Our karma has somebody else connected on the other side of that. Okay? If not multiple people in generationals. So we have to clear our karma. Healing your karma is not just for you. It is for every generation, every tie you're connected to, the future and the past. Okay? And the only way to leave our past behind is to heal your karma, to grow as a soul. The challenge is the way to learn the lessons once and for all, to rise to the light, to be whole. Can I get an amen? All right, so then we have Twitter-pated butterflies, solar plexus chakra. So something's not being seen. Something's not being seen. That's pay attention to details. Okay? So we must pay attention to our truths, to live your truth in your soul, because there's something not being seen here. And do not judge. So the theme for this month is that something is going to come out of the shadows, right? And so we have to see all truths, speak all truths, be all truths. And your solar plexus is where we reflect our soul. So if it's not 100% soul path aligned, we get Twitter-pated butterflies. Okay, they're like stuck. We need to release something. Okay? So release and heal those generational entanglements. Live only through your truth, undoing the patterning and the outdated blueprint, because the earth is dead and a new one is being rebirthed as we speak. We cannot live the way we did anymore. And you don't know what the future holds because you haven't got there yet. You create it from today, either way. So much love, my friends. I hope you have a beautiful month ahead, beautiful energy ahead. And let me tell you, I am so proud of who I am and what I've come through. And no matter who tried to stop me, no matter who came against me, no matter who judged me, mistreated me, tried to stop, attack, whatever, even losing my first DM, not only did I survive, I thrived. I completed the entire journey of the return of the gods. I left no stone unturned, and now the Antichrist has been exposed. So just like the channeled message says, strange events are coming, rising now on the horizon, something coming out of the shadows to be seen by all. Right at the fall of the Kabal, for God said, the Antichrist will be established and shown when it's time to rise and call everybody home. Except if you didn't heal and hear all the calls and take every opportunity, you cannot be duality anymore. That's not a maybe. That's not an illusion. Clear the shadow so you can see past the confusion. Because everything I did will be found in your heart if your heart was pure light. So much love, my friends. I'll see you on the other side, I hope.